Hello, everyone. My name is George Mercado, and welcome to Your Home in the AV. We have my co-host, Carlos Paiz, and today we have an exciting person that I want everybody to meet. He's been in business over 25 years, and he is a broker associate at ENRG.Realty. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Mark Chappell.
Thank you, sir.
Mark Chappell, how you doing today?
Doing well. I made it here, so we're off to a great start already.
That's awesome. So, Mark, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? Give us a little bit of history of Mark Chappell.
Oh man, we're in trouble on that. So going back to real estate, I'm going to go right to there because real estate. I remember when I was young, I was in high school, and my parents, I felt as though the realtor really didn't take great care of them. And maybe even, dropped the ball a couple times, even though I was only in high school. I really didn't know, but I already had a sense that I could have done better. And then time went by, didn't get licensed. And then ultimately, my mom started getting, practicing and her tests and trying to get a license, and ultimately did get a license. And I beat her to the punch. When I heard her doing it, I thought, shoot, I'm going to go do that again. And got my license. I took the test when I was 18 originally and didn't make it. So it was a while ago, wow. A few years. And so I went back after my mom started and went in after many years of not studying, no anything, passed the test, no trouble. So I don't know, I was 18, still not learning how to pass the test quite yet. But I got started. My first brokerage was down in Ontario, California. Worked really just very, very, very part-time, basically weekends and stuff. And then when we moved up to the Victorville, Hesperia area, continued a little very part-time there. But I ultimately got laid off twice in the same year by two different companies. So I thought, man, I'm not letting that happen. And so started selling real estate full-time. And that was in the pretty rough market. That was back in, I think that was in 1996, 1995, something like that. That's going to date me a lot. But the market was quite terrible back then, meaning there were probably 3 or 4 homes on the market for every one buyer. And it was very, very difficult. About 60 or 70% of our deals were either HUD owned or bank owned, or they were short sales. The bulk of them were short sales.
Yep.
So I had to cut my teeth on doing short sales. So it took a while, but I did that part-time, and then ultimately got laid off a second time from my other full-time job and thought, nope, not letting that happen again, and jumped full-time into real estate.
George, basically it makes unique when agents like Mark tell the story how he got into business, because my story is pretty similar, except that this happened directly to me. I feel like the agent that was helping me when I bought my first house was not doing her job. She was always showing me homes that were either about to collapse, a car went through, a roof was collapsing. I always needed like $20,000 or $30,000 to fix it. And I think that when things like what happened to Mark, family, and myself, we have this drill to really make something different for the people that we serve. And that's what makes different in real estate companies, and different for the agents,
So I think that, even I went through that. When I bought my house, I had to find my own house. The agent that I was working with, I forgot the brokerage, but he was showing us houses that I didn't like, and I was just driving around the street and I said, well, what about this house? Because they had a for sale sign, and I ended up buying that house. I found that house.
Wow.
So, yeah, I get to understand where you guys are coming from, especially in 1998. That's when I bought my house in 1998. And those
when I got my
prices were
license.
low, but, it was a crash.
Yeah,
the market was really bad.
And almost pre-internet, right? And you start looking at stuff. The MLS was still not on the internet yet. We were still using those old thick books about like that, and all the listings would come out once a week and use those. So been a while, but it took them a while to get that internet all figured out,
I got mine in action, all the properties that I went to see, I didn't got none of them. So we saw this picture of this white picket fence And I told my wife at that time, I say, you know what? If we didn't got the other homes that were older, we're not going to get this one. But go ahead and bet on it. And we start betting on it. And the first home that we bought in, I think it was like 96, we bought it for 60,000.
Yeah. The prices have changed a little bit since then. I bought my first house. Since you brought that up, made me think about it. I bought my first property. Really, it was a duplex, and I recommend this to a lot of younger people that are just getting started, especially if you're single. Your first house, get a multifamily of some kind. Get a duplex, triplex, 4 unit, something like that, where you can have a rental. And that was my first one. I think I was 21 when I did that. Bought the duplex. Talked to a friend of mine, a coworker, into helping me buy it, with his cash and my cash, what we pulled together, and bought a duplex in East Palmdale, not very far from where we're sitting right now. And I don't remember, I don't remember what we paid for it. I think it was in the 60s, might have been in the 50s. And so I lived rent free because I rented out the next door unit, and I had a roommate. So back then, the income wasn't so high, but it was enough to pull it off. And I bought my first property in Palmdale. I think I was 21. It might have even been a little younger than that, but right around that window.
Awesome.
And that's one thing that Mark and I are trying to concentrate on the new agents that come into energy. That, for the first 2 years, be an agent. But after 2 years, you should become an investor. Me and him were both investors. We buy and flip properties. So we want to teach our agents to do something like that.
Yeah, bring some of the team agents in, yourself and others that want to jump in and start investing with us, buying properties, flipping or holding, whatever the case may be.
That's a good insight to have, and I'm sure that investing is probably right now the way to go.
That's
investing and flipping.
Yes, so usually, what's the big statement that I think Soros made pretty famous? Run to stuff when everybody is going away from it, and run away from it when everyone's going to it. I don't remember the exact words, but that concept of when the market is struggling, that's when we should be buying. I remember I tried to do I did one, not super successful, a buyer presentation seminar one time. It was in the middle of that market that was really, really quite rough for most people, certainly for sellers. And even the buyers were afraid to buy. So much inventory on the market. And I got like 3 people to a buyer webinar, or buyer, not webinar. Back then, that was in person. And couldn't get anybody to go and invest because they just didn't understand, hey, this is the time. This is when we should be buying as many properties as we get. I bought in 1990, I'm going to say 98, probably. I bought 2 duplexes on H15, and they auctioned those off on the courthouse steps. Not on the courthouse steps, in front of the house, right there on the sidewalk. Yep. And I kept one for a very, very long time. We refinanced it many times. I'm almost positive I paid $38,000 for that. And when I sold it a number of years ago, I sold it just before COVID, like 2019. And the loan on that, I think, was $140,000 at the time. So I'd refinance, pull cash out, buy another property, that kind of stuff.
On that note, someone who's been in business for over 25 years, what made you make the change to ENRG.Realty?
Moving over to energy, great question, because right now, my prior brokerage, most everyone probably thought I was going to be there the rest of my career, even including me. But I could kind of see the writing on the wall to some respect, because the really strong difference between profit share and revenue share, which at Energy, we're a rev share company, and the prior model, it was great for a number of years, for 30, 40 years. It was a great company for that purpose. But now seeing that there's multiple ways to bring in revenue, and one of those is through rev share, then I thought that would be a great opportunity to make the switch. And also, it just was the right time. I think right place, right time. This company's got some tremendous leadership. The founders of the company, I'll be doing a podcast actually with them here pretty soon, probably within the next 3 weeks. And seeing them and hearing them talk, they definitely have the leadership ability, and they help 2 other companies become very successful already. They helped them. This time they did it on their own. They're the founders of this company. They helped the other two, and those two companies are doing well right now. So they've been there, done that, and they know what to do. And so far, so good. So far, so great. Really, they've been great leaders.
Yeah. The revenue share is the future in real estate. The good thing is Mark and I will leave the profit share, and now we live in the revenue share because this is the future.
Understood. So, Mark, give us some key takeaways that we need to know about ENRG.Realty.
About energy. So Aaron Noble is the one that I'm going to go to right now. One of the founders. It's a husband and wife team, Peter's husband. And what they decided to do, he's a tech guy. So it really brought a lot of the tech into our company. We've partnered with Close as a CRM, and we have AI now that's affecting the way we operate every day, in our general life, but also we have that aspect as part of what was included with ENRG.Realty. So looking at those things, the tech and the support we've had so far, we can call up the founders anytime. We call our state broker, Noelle, and she's been great and really super helpful. Carlos and I have been around the block more than a few times, and so we've seen what it's like to have companies that don't particularly support their agents, or they're not able to really share the vision in a way that makes sense. And these guys do a great job of that.
So I know that you had mentioned the technology. Can you expand a little bit on the technology behind ENRG?
Not much. We're still brand new with the company, and I haven't dove into all of the stuff that it provides. But from everything I can see, there's more than enough. And they've partnered with some really great companies. We have an opportunity there's one site that we go to for all of our information, the way they've organized everything. So within the way the Energy Hub works is we have all of our recordings, so we can go listen to prior conversations. We have a weekly, 2 weekly, now 3. I don't know if you know the third one, but there's a third weekly meeting now that we can jump into anytime, and they record those. They leave those online, so that text is there. We're always on the Zoom or the Google Meet calls. And again, the founders are on those calls. That's really cool. I kind of feel like we're at the beginning of something great. And they're really offering quite a bit of let's say, carrot in front of us to really help the company grow. And it's going to be, I think this company is going to go from 100 to several thousand very quickly. And timing is everything. You get in this business.
That's right.
Timing is super important, and you want to get on the ground floor of something. This is a great company to get on the ground floor.
From the research that I did find that they have some streamlined tech. They have AI that they're working with, a CRM, and automated marketing tools. So it does sound like a really interesting company to get into. Sounds like they're being innovative as far as new technology to make it easier for the agent to close deals.
Right. They really want that boutique experience where it feels like it's small and intimate. There's only 20 or 30 people, say, at a company or something, which is not the case here. But they really want that look and that feel, and they're going for that, while at the same time, they're definitely ready to expand. We're seeing new stuff coming out pretty much every week now. The way the website's rolled out, they did it when they said they would do it. They've done something, said something, and they've done that something. So far, so good. Everybody has been aligned very, very well. And we get to talk to all the leaders in the company that are creating all the new systems and stuff right now. And so it's fun to watch, and we can contribute to that. So if we think something's not working great, we let them know. They take a look at it, and they respond to it within a day normally. Hey, you know what? That's a great idea. The next meeting, we're going to talk about that and implement that possibly. So they're very open to growth and to getting everything moving forward in the right direction.
And that makes it a different brokerage, because they do what they say and they say what they do.
Very much so.
That's what everybody can count on.
That's right.
What everybody can count on. At ENRG.Realty, they say what they do what they say they're going to do.
Yes.
Did I get that correct?
That's super important too.
All right. So In closing, and I want to thank you, Mark, for joining us today. It's been, very insightful as to what your story is and how, your story kind of correlates with a lot of different agents that are out there anyway. I mean, it's pretty much the same story, especially here in this office. You have three different people with pretty much the same story as how they got into real estate. But, at the end of the day, the change to energy isn't about a new name. It's about a new vision, a vision where agents have the tools, support, and leadership to build a business that they're proud of and a future that they can count on. Today's episode is sponsored by George Ventura Graphics. Thank you so much for having us. For all your graphic needs, Ventura Graphics is in the AV. Thank you all for joining us, and I appreciate it. It's a great day.
Yes, sir.
I'll make
Thanks,
it
guys.
a great day.
Thank you,
All right,
George,
have a
and
good day.
thank you, George Ventura, for having us in here.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.